On this week's episode, we discuss what the Lakers' recent losses mean, the recent struggles of Rui and LaRavia, Giannis, CP3, Herb Jones. We'll break down some of these hot Laker trade rumors and see what the possibilities are of who's available and who's not. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Matter of Stats podcast. Anthony here with you. If you're new here, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to really help us grow the channel. We would greatly appreciate that. And let's get started. So, interesting week for the Lakers. A couple losses here, a couple wins. The West right now is tough. We know that. Every loss, could move you up or down, just like last year. The Lakers got off to a good start. There's no doubt there. Offensively, they're great. Defensively is a struggle. We know that. This week, though, a couple tough losses. The home loss to the Suns, that was kind of unexpected, I think, before they started this 3-game road trip. Then they went on the road, beating Toronto in a nail-biter, high-scoring affair, right? Rui hit the game winner. We know LeBron's point streak came to an end, yada, yada, yada. Then they moved on to Boston. That, as soon as we know, no Luka, no LeBron, Smart still out, that was going to be tough to win. The Lakers really struggled in that game offensively and defensively, and they kind of got their doors blown out right out of the gate. Reeves played well again, but there wasn't much support. Defense really struggled, as you would expect. But the lack of Luka and LeBron, there was no offense. Second night of a back-to-back always makes it tough anyways. So they dropped that one. And then they finished the trip Sunday in Philadelphia. Currently, as we are recording here, the Lakers are 16-6, so not bad. I think that drops them to third overall in the West now, though, with the loss to the Celtics, but still a pretty good start despite the struggles defensively, despite LeBron missing a lot of time. Luka's obviously missed some games, missing these last two for the birth of their child. So all in all, still a good start, but I want to break down what the losses really mean for the Lakers. Not so much in the standings, not so much the actual score, right? They got blown out in, pretty much all of their losses. But really, it may have solidified the Lakers' biggest issue. Not a surprise, something we already knew, but it's really driving home the point that all of these losses have something very simple in common. They're all to teams that have athleticism, length, and can defend. The areas in which the Lakers struggle. The Lakers are great offensively, highly efficient offensively, but they're bottom 5 in just about every defensive metric you could look at, and they're not a great athletic team. They're not a deep team. They're not a great three-point shooting team. They don't defend the three well. They give up a lot of points. So all of the losses have been to athletic teams that are deep, they have length, they're very athletic, they defend the perimeter well, and even more specifically, what we've seen, the trend is teams that are able to put a lot of high, intense ball pressure on the Lakers, full court or press up, top of the key, above the three-point line. That's really caused the Lakers difficulty. I mean, as great as Luka, Reeves, and LeBron are at passing and playmaking, they're not exactly quick ball handlers. You wouldn't define them as quick, fast, athletic players with the ball in their hand. They can handle the ball, yes. They can attack and penetrate. Luka and Reeves are 1 and 2, I think, in the NBA in free throw attempts per game. That's not the problem. The problem, though, is when they face teams that are athletic and have length, They defend the perimeter well, and when they put high ball pressure on the Lakers, it creates turnovers because the Lakers don't have great elite athletic ball handlers. So the pressure turns to turnovers, which leads to uncontested layups, fast breaks, but more importantly, it takes the ball away from the Lakers' strength, which is occupying the offensive end and running their offense and outscoring the opponent. So I think that's definitely a big problem for this Laker team, and it'll certainly have to be addressed in the long run. In the short run, they'll have to just, continue to find ways to avoid the traps, avoid the press, and not turn the ball over so they can maximize their offensive efficiency to continue to win games, because the strength of this team right now is 100% solely based on their offensive effectiveness. But big picture, as we talk about every week, this team is going to have to do something. If they're serious about competing and contending this year in a Western Conference where we know OKC is the gold standard, the Lakers still have a legitimate shot here. They're just as good as anybody else if they can defend. And that's not going to happen with the players that are on this roster. They don't have high-level defenders outside of maybe Smart, Vando, who's completely out of the rotation now. So we know Rob's going to have to do something to go get some athleticism and some perimeter, high-level defenders with length that can really help this Lakers team be just average. It doesn't have to be an elite defensive team. It just can't be bottom 10. So we'll see, and we'll kind of touch a little bit on some of these rumors potentially that could help the Lakers later in the program. Speaking of addressing issues, let's talk about some guys that have recently struggled that were playing really well earlier in the season, specifically Rui and LaRavia. I'm not trying to single them out for any particular reason other than the fact that they are extremely valuable to this Lakers team and were playing at such a high level, in part due to when LeBron was out. Obviously, we talked about that. We knew there was going to be some shakeup and some discrepancies in people's numbers and minutes when LeBron returned. But Rui was off to such a great start. LaRavia has had some really big games. And the way this Laker team is constructed, they are actually some of the more fairly athletic players on this roster, and they're heavily counted upon. Obviously, Rui's a starter. LaRavia is, one of the key contributors off the bench. He's a scorer. He's a three-point shooter, but he provides length and athleticism for a team that doesn't have a lot of it, right? So Rui, let's start there. In the month of October, man, Rui was dynamite, averaging 15 points a game, shooting almost 60% from the field. I mean, he was really, really playing well, off to a great start, right? The numbers have cooled off, obviously, lately, in part to LeBron. We recognize that. We recognize the roles and the minutes and the opportunities, shot opportunities decrease a little bit when a guy like LeBron is out there. But more specifically, in the 3 games prior to the start of this road trip, his average dropped all the way to just 9 a game and was shooting 39% from the field. So that's a considerable, you're talking almost 50% decrease in production from a guy that is a starter giving you the starter minutes. He's playing 30 minutes a night. You can't have a guy give you half the production he was giving you prior and expect the same results, right? So it's going to affect the team. And obviously, Rui is struggling. Even in some of the games before that, he was averaging just, a little over 10 points a game. LaRavia, another guy, key contributor to this team, important to the Lakers' success because of the way this team is built. Also in the month of October, great, right? He was averaging 11 points a game, shooting 55% from the field. Fantastic numbers. Exactly what the Lakers were hoping when they signed him. Over the last 10 games, coming into this road trip, only averaging about 6 points a game and shooting 35% from the field. So it's not just the points per game production, it's the effectiveness. You're talking about 2 guys that were shooting well over 50%, now both shooting below 40% in recent games. That's not going to help this team at all, given the way that this team has to win. They have to score. They have to put points on the board. And if two of your main contributors aren't helping in that department, there's nowhere the Lakers can supplement that. No one else is gonna be able to come in off the bench and provide the boost to compensate for the lack of production. So really hoping that they can start to turn it around because they need it and the Lakers need it. As we continue on the Matter Stats podcast, we always talk trades. We always talk rumors. You know, that's what we do. You know, that's my style, right? Trade machine, right? You guys like to make the jokes. It's all good. It's all good. We love it. We love it. Rob Pelinka, you know, sometimes not my favorite person in the world, but I'm going to challenge him every single week. And let's talk about some of these hot rumors. Obviously, we recognize big rumors this week. Giannis, right? Deleted all the social media posts. Boom. That always makes hot news. Oh my God. Players deleted social media posts. He's on the way out, right? Maybe he is. Maybe he isn't. Then he gets hurt, right? Did he get hurt? Did he not get hurt? All kinds of conspiracy theories. But if Giannis is available, of course, the Lakers are going to be involved in that mix. They're going to be, you know, a team that's going to be interested. You know, can they get him? Can they not get him? Chris Paul, right? The Clippers sent him packing in the middle of the night, right? No explanation. Just, hey, buddy, we don't need you anymore. Catch the red eye home at 3 a.m. There's obviously going to be ties there with Chris Paul because of the LA connection, because of the LeBron connection. You know, he obviously played with JJ Redick. There's lots of factors there. And then you got the Pelicans. They're a dumpster fire right now. They're talking about maybe trading almost everybody, right? Is Zion going to go? The hot guy there is a guy by the name of Herb Jones, young athletic wing, really fits the mold of what the Lakers would be looking for on paper. So, you know, is he available? Could the Lakers get their hands on him? Let's start with CP3. Like I mentioned, there's the LA LeBron connections, but CP3 is old. Okay. It's just a fact. LeBron's pushing 41. You know, CP3 is up there too. So it's not exactly what the Lakers need fit-wise. He's old. He's a small point guard. He still can play a little bit. He can still defend a little bit, but he doesn't really fit what the Lakers need on this roster. And, you know, while he does have a relationship with JJ Redick, they did play together, you know, with the Clippers, you know, part of that Lob City group. I don't know if JJ wants a guy like Chris Paul in the locker room, on the bench. You know, he's got a strong personality. You know, sometimes good, sometimes bad. He's going to push players, but I don't know if that's what JJ is necessarily looking for as far as a fit for this team. Because one thing about this Laker team that I do like, they do well, is the chemistry seems to be really good. Guys really gel together on and off the court, and they get along extremely well. Particularly, we've seen it with Luka and Reeves, their relationship. So I don't know how Chris Paul fits in that scenario, if he makes it better, if he makes it worse. But my hunch is that the Lakers aren't going to be interested in an older Chris Paul, you know, even if when he becomes available, right? Herb Jones, on the other hand, is someone that's very intriguing, and he's going to be a hot commodity if he's available because he is what everybody wants: a young, long, athletic wing that can defend, that can shoot the three. He's still just 27 years old. He's going to be a hot commodity, you know, will fit well anywhere, including with the Lakers, of course, would be a great fit. But to get him, it's tough, right? The Lakers don't have a lot of draft capital to trade right now. And would New Orleans, you know, want the kind of guys that the Lakers are going to want to give up to get him, right? It's not going to be Austin Reeves, obviously, in a Herb Jones deal, but it could be Rui or Vando or Gabe Vincent or Connect or some of these expiring contracts like Kleba. I don't know if New Orleans is going to be interested in, you know, a package involving those guys and maybe one pick or a pick swap. Not to mention, Herb Jones still has about $72 million left through the 29-30 season. And we're very well aware that, like many teams in the league, the Lakers are not looking to add any long-term salary. So if you're going to trade for a guy like Herb Jones, he's going to be on the books for the next few years, making some decent money. And that's going to, detract from some of the Lakers' potential long-term offseason goals a year or two from now that involve the possibility, right, of a free agent Giannis or a free agent Jokic. So on paper, love the fit. I think he would be obviously great, fits exactly what the Lakers need, but I don't know if the Lakers would be able to or willing to make that kind of a deal knowing that they're going to have to take on the salary long term. So we'll see. Finally, Giannis, right? Of course. Giannis he's all world. He's a superstar. He's great. He could play with anybody, right? Would he fit with Luka? Of course he fit with Luka. He fit with anybody, right? I think we heard the rumors potentially, right, that Luka reached out to the Lakers about possibly trying to find a way to get Giannis. Great. It's all good. It's all perfect if it works out. But the Lakers would have to get really creative, I think, to get Giannis right now. It would certainly have to include Reeves. So there's that whole dynamic of, if Luka really wants Giannis, is he willing to give up Reeves to get him, right? Reeves is his new best friend. So there's that dynamic. But obviously there's no way Giannis is getting traded to the Lakers without Austin Reeves. That's just plain and simple. But there's caveats to that, right? Would Milwaukee want Austin Reeves? Not just from a talent standpoint. He's having a great season, but he's also a free agent at the end of the year. So he could walk. Plus, Giannis is the kind of player that is going to dictate somewhat where he wants to go, right? We heard the Knicks recently. The Knicks were kind of a hot rumor even in the summer, right? So does he want to go to the Knicks? He could force that to happen. If he wants to go to the Lakers, yeah, he could force that to happen, but he'd have to go to management and say, I want to play with Luka in LA, trade me to the Lakers, please make it happen right now. And that's kind of how these type of deals usually go, right? The megastar forces their way and dictates where they want to go. But again, would Milwaukee want to kind of roll the dice on Austin Reeves and hoping that, they could convince him to re-sign and stay? So there's that factor. And, I'm not going to be ridiculous and say I wouldn't trade Reeves for Giannis. Okay, I would. Reeves is great, having a fantastic season. Don't take anything away from that. I love all that. He's been really good this year, obviously. But Giannis, if you have a chance to get Giannis, you go get Giannis. I get it, right? But this may be a little unconventional, but my lasting kind of opinion here on this before we head out is I don't know if I would trade for Giannis. Not because he's not great and not because I don't want to give up Austin Reeves, but there's a part of me that kind of wants to hold out for Jokic. I know it's a long shot, but I just really like the idea of Jokic and Luka together, maybe even a little more than Giannis and Luka together. I just feel that Luka and Jokic could be the most unstoppable offensive duo in the league right now, and maybe since we've seen in, I don't know, Shaq and Kobe times. Shaq and Kobe maybe one of the best 1-2 punch the Lakers have ever had. And I think Luka and Jokic could be on that same level if they were together here in LA, potentially a year from now, right? So Giannis is great, but man, something about Luka and Jokic just really, really intrigues me. So we'll see. I mean, this is all rumor. It's all smoke right now. You never know what's going to happen. But it's always fun to talk about it. I love to talk about the trades, so I'm never going to shy away from it. But let's go, Rob. Make something happen. We don't need Giannis right now, but give me something. Come on. You can do it. Come on. I saw you there on the sidelines of Boston. I know you're watching. Make something happen, baby. Well, that will wrap up this week's episode of the Matter of Stats podcast. Again, we thank you all for listening. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We appreciate it, and we will see you next week.
Matter of Stats podcast.